The documentary is Long Shot, available now on Netflix. Here's the description. When Juan Catalan is arrested for a murder he didn't commit, he builds his case for innocence around raw footage from a popular TV show.
I haven't cried in like over a year. Tears haven't fallen from my eyes in over a year, and this documentary almost got me.
My arm had goosebumps. I teared up a bit.
I teared up.
Really well done. It's when the reveal happens, which is great in a 40-minute documentary. They didn't have to spend an hour and a half doing other shit we didn't care about. Yeah. It was in, it was out, it was perfect. I loved it.
This was awesome. I mean, everything that you'd want to happen happened, and happened at a fast pace, and it was still a roller coaster of emotions through it. They just didn't have all that filler. Every hour and a half long documentary, usually, is a 40-minute documentary,
right?
Filled with bullshit in between the awesome moments, just to be a 90-minute documentary. So
I honestly feel that same way about most books. You know, Tale of Two Cities doesn't need to be that goddamn long. That's just bragging, right? It's just like fucking write a short story, bro. Tell me that you don't need. I don't need all this description of shit.
That's how I feel about the Bible.
It should be the 10 Commandments, and then with the three paragraphs of what Jesus said, and that should be it. Right, I guess.
Just tell me what I'm supposed to do and not supposed to do. It's really all I need.
I don't know. I don't care who begat who, and then he begat him, and he begat. At Christmas, every so often they'll have the begat one where you're like, really? Christmas Eve, we got to hear who begat who? I don't even know who was fucking in the Bible. That's crazy.
Begat yourself. That's what I say. It's too long. I'm not never going to read it. I can tell by the thickness. I'm never going to read it. Thanks. You just ruined religion for me. So I end up getting pissed off during this thing. I'm sure you guys did too.
Sure, yeah. But I'm sure for you, because of being a former police now, did you ever have a time in your career, Todd, where you were the cops around you had decided something was real, and you're like, no, this is not. What are you guys doing? We got to look at more people. Did that ever happen?
Yeah, all the time. Like early on, people kind of make their minds up. Now, it didn't get like to this point, but they're like, I think he's a suspect, and I'm like, I don't think he did. I think it was this other person. And then usually I was right, because I'm better at that than most people. But
Sure.
August 12th, 2003, Juan Catalana and his girlfriend Alma had broken up, and he calls Alma, like we do sometimes. Hey, why don't you come over and spend the night? Just come hang out or whatever. One of those calls. You probably got those
my
calls.
Guy.
Savannah.
I love a persistent guy. Not really, but game respects game, and he got her over there.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that's when I knew he didn't do it. When you cry talking about your dad, you're not a murderer.
Right. Yeah.
Jenner, right? I mean, that's just put that in the box. Like, here's a picture of your dad. What do you think? If you're like, I just don't want to disappoint him. You're like, yeah, you didn't murder anybody. If you cry when you see your dad, come on.
Right.
I didn't get choked up during that part because then we never found out what he said, and that was frustrating. Oh. Because they couldn't.
Jesus Christ. Savannah always has to have answers, always has to know what's coming up next.
Are you not curious as to what the rest of that was? Because they built it up, and it was so emotional, and then there was nothing.
It's more powerful to me that he couldn't get the words out, and I have to fill in the blanks myself. That's what I say.
But you can't. You don't know.
I think that's creative filmmaking, because he probably did eventually get the words out, and they're like, you know what? This is a way better documentary if we never finish that sentence. That's what I think.
I do not concede, but go on.
Well, look, you know that Savannah's going to reach out to the documentarian on Twitter, and they'll become friends, and he'll watch this show, and so you can ask that question, Savannah, when you become friends with this dude.
Yeah. By the way, every guy that makes a documentary that we cover ends up friends with Savannah on social media. So. Yeah. Congratulations.
Hey, go with your strengths, man. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
So if we feature your documentary, you're welcome.
Agreed. You're welcome.
So he gets taken to the L.A. County Jail, where he's interviewed by detectives, two detectives that I fucking hate.
Yep.
And both, by the way, both look like fucking slobs. You work in homicide. It's supposed to be the most prestigious unit of any police department. You're on LAPD homicide unit, and you dress like a fucking slob, and you're fat.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched a lot of like Law and Order and the L.A. cop shows, and they're always hot. I don't know what these guys are doing.
Right?
I don't know what's going on. Yeah,
Respect the fact that if you work LAPD homicide, you can have a successful film career as a consultant and a talking head on Nancy Grace after you're done. Fucking go on a diet and fucking cut your hair every now and then.
I just can't believe you always have to have answers. I don't understand why you can't just let things go.
Fuck off.